It seems like people are waking up all over the world, um, and what we're calling a spiritual awakening. And I know, like, maybe you're wondering, well, what is a spiritual awakening? What does that mean? For me, it meant, and it means, just waking up from misery and being stuck in a 3D physical world, full of guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, anger. I feel like you're just pinched off from the source. I don't think you can ever, well, you can never be completely, pinched off from God. But prior to the awakening, I felt like I was not connected, had no idea who I was, why I was here, what I was doing, just doing everything that, people have told me that I was supposed to do. You go to work every day, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, come home, watch TV, get married, um, just all those things that you feel like you're supposed to do. And I've done all those things, not because I truly wanted to, but because I felt like that was what I was supposed to do. And then you wake up one day and you realize you have no idea who you are. What am I doing? Why am I here? The beginning of my awakening, my son was kind of miserable. I think he could sense my misery with life. I was really checked out at this point. I was on my way out, basically. And he said, Mom, is this all there is? Is this it? Just go to work and go to school and come home and just do the same thing every day, day after day after day after day. And I looked at him. I said, yes, that's all there is. Because I was miserable. And that's what it felt like to me at the time. So that's all it was. But that bothered me, because I know there's something more. I grew up in the church my entire life. Had always been a very religious, spiritual, intuitive person. But I kind of lost my way, you know. Um, Carrying around grief. I lost my mom at 16. That kind of destroyed my entire existence. I was lost. Um, the men in my life have been very abusive. So I was just a mess. But after he asked me that, I began to ask, why am I here? What am I doing? I wasn't happy. So maybe a month later, my mom's sister comes. She could see what a mental state that I was in. And she felt like I should go, maybe stay with my brothers for a little while, or, you know, I needed a minute. I was losing my mind. Like I said, I was on my way out. I had had 15 surgeries. I was on pain medication, um, antidepressants, benzodiazepines, smoking cigarettes, just, the whole nine. Just a mess. In my head, overweight, just crazy. I felt like I was just unconscious, just sleeping. And then, so she suggested that I go live with, my brother. And I did that. I left my job, packed my car, me and my son, and we moved. And when I moved, I wasn't working, anything like that. And I had time to be still. I was still on all the pain medication. I ended up going cold turkey. I couldn't get to Orlando. Hurricane Michael was coming and I couldn't go. So I had no choice but to, get off all those medications. And that was, the best thing that I could have ever done. So I went through withdrawal, cold turkey, went through everything, endured it. It was not easy. It wasn't like what you see in the movies. I mean, I slept probably 24 hours, sweating profusely, yawning, irritable, anxiety. Felt like I had the flu, diarrhea. It was bad, but I made it, and I made it through. I didn't think that I could, but I did. So once all that, those medications and everything left my system, and I had time to be still, I began to get the urge to meditate and go within and balancing my chakras and just learning about Kundalini energy. I had an interest in Reiki healing. I felt like I needed to, learn about that, and, just had these impulses and intuition. So I began to feel better. I began to be able to sense my mom's presence around me. I always knew that I had an intuitive nature. I always had claircognizance, just a knowing. I would always know things. I knew when my mom was going to die. I knew when my dad was going to die. I just always knew these things. So I had just an awakening that I am beautiful and I am loved and God is within me and we're all sparks of God. And I started to understand my abilities as an empath. I've always been a healer, always helping others. I can sense the emotional turmoil and things that people go through. That became stronger. I just had a different perspective of life. I've always been loving and caring to other people, but I wasn't being very nice to myself. It was affecting my health, affecting my spirit. I forgot who I was and that I am a divine being, a spiritual being here on the earth having a human experience to further evolve my soul. I chose to come here. When we enter the earth plane or take that first breath, that we go through that veil of forgetfulness. And the goal is to wake up and to remember who you are. And that the only thing that matters on the planet is love and compassion for one another and helping one another. And I stopped smoking cigarettes. I started, communing with nature, focusing on myself and what makes me happy and figuring out what that is. Looking at the patterns of my life. I've always been very smart, had all this potential, but I wasn't getting anywhere. But it was because my mind was ruling my existence. I was living in the past and just carrying everything that had ever happened to me, just carrying it with me, never letting things go, never allowing myself to heal, being very hard on myself and mean to myself, and it was affecting my health and my spirit. I would give everything that I had to people and never fill my own cup up. But since the awakening, I know I have to fill my cup, take care of myself, love myself. And it's just been a great journey. I wake up every day now. I'm so happy to live and to be and just experience, and who can I serve? How can I help? It's a big difference from 4 years ago when I was applying for disability, could barely walk from room to room on every medication in the world. I'm no longer on medications. I've lost 60 pounds just from having a conscious existence and quieting my mind and getting control of my mind and taking back my power from doctors, men, jobs. Not letting anybody take that power from me. and learning how to control my emotions. Just all been a journey. And it all started with meditation and quieting my mind. The whole time during the spiritual awakening, I kept saying, I think I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. But I was dying. The old me was dying. And now I'm a new person. A better version of myself that no longer lives in fear, shame, or guilt. I'm a sovereign being. And I came here to learn and live my life and to be happy. And I choose to be happy. Regardless of whatever circumstance that I go to, I know that I am not my problems. I'm more than these trivial things that happen on the planet. I'm bigger than that. I mean, yes, I have my moments. I get frustrated. I'm human. But overall, I'm happy. And I don't let anything get me down. And I just want to share, like, for anybody that's struggling, I struggle with anxiety, depression, all those things. And, there is a light at the end of that tunnel. But, you got to go through the storm to get to the light. So don't give up. There's hope out there. And I just wanted to share, just in case somebody needed to hear this. And I'm going to keep doing videos. I feel like I'm being called to share, my story. And my story could be a guidebook for someone else to find the light that I found. Each one teach one. Each one help one. That's what we're here to do. Love and light, guys. I'll talk to you soon.